Bradford City well and truly in the mix for the title over in League 2 as Walsall continue to drop points. We've got a madcap mixture of a week this week. We'll tell you all about it and more next. That's right, folks, back once again with another prediction video today. It's all about Matchday number 37, that's right, and we'll get to it in a second. If you know where you've been, smash your subscribe, and you want to subscribe for League 2, Babanovas, World Football. We're going to all here under one roof. That's right, Walsall, tip at the top of the table for now, but Bradford actually could leapfrog them this week in a crazy old catch-up week. We'll take a look at that, of course, and more in a second. Big shout out to the members, big shout out to the Patreons. You know who you are. What we're going to do now, though, is revisit the last weekend's action. And then, of course, kick on forward to a crazy bit of a catch-up week. So let's get into it. Here we go then, recap of the results from this past weekend, and these are those, that's right. Of course, my predictions on the left, the real deal is on the right. Wimbledon could only, they actually got back to winning ways with a 2-0 win over Notts County, big win for them. Meanwhile, Walsall did lose to Grimsby, goodness gracious me, they are back on track for a playoff push. Barrow beat Accrington with a 2-0 win, I went with a 1-0 win. Colchester with that important 1-0 win over Cheltenham, I went with a 1-1 draw. Doncaster, 2-2 thriller against Swindon, I went with a draw myself. Chesterfield did beat Newport County 2-1, I went with a 2-0 win. Gillingham actually beat Bradford. What am I talking about? I went the other way. Wow, we were Fleetwood. They did draw with Port Vale 1-1, got that one spot on the nose. Harrogate with a 1-0 win over Carlisle. Of course, they looked toast. MK Dons with a 2-1 win over MK Dons, got that one spot on. Salford could only draw with Crewe 1-1. And Tranmere Rovers continue their recent reboot with a 2-1 win over Bromley. So that's, of course, my predictions, guys and girls. The table, though, looks a little bit like this. Coming into this, of course, Walsall tip at the top of the table, but only just after dropping points. Of course, Bradford are within 2 points and could overtake them this weekend. Doncaster also in the mixer there in the automatic spots. Wimbledon ain't out of it just yet. Neither are Notts County, Port Vale, or even Crewe. That's right. And the race for the playoffs is hot to bloody trot. And keep an eye on Colchester. They are right in the thick of things. I've only lost 7 times this season. That's less than anybody in the top 3. Wow. But of course, Port Vale have actually lost less than Colchester. Goodness, it's good stuff that by the Cowleys. They're working a treat right there. We are now looking at the next round of games. I'm not going to give you an update on the prediction. You just can keep doing your thing. Of course, these are the weekend's games, but there are games coming at you midweek. We're not going to do another video for that because I am stretched on time and I'm actually recording this on Sunday. So we're going to run through the other games taking place on Tuesday. There are Accrington against Newport County. Bookies are going to go with a home win on that one, but only just Newport County. Actually, Newport County not fancied at all with the bookies. That does look like a game that Accrington should win. So I'm going to go maybe a 2-1 win for them to maybe boost their end of the season performance. Meanwhile, Wimbledon against Cheltenham, must-win territory for Wimbledon to get back into the thick of things. Maybe dreaming for the automatics. I do see them coming out on top with a 2-0 win over Cheltenham. The bookies agree with me. Colchester against Port Vale, the two sides I just mentioned. Colchester and Port Vale, the two sides who've lost the least in this one. So guess what? This is going to be a draw all over it. Going to go with the 1-1 over at Colchester. Grimsby with that massive win this past weekend, taking on a high-flying Notts County. Bookies go with Notts County, the visitors, but I will back Grimsby with a maybe a 1-0 win on that one. And then finally, a bit of a Northwest crunch clash at Salford as well. The bookies backing Salford, only just Chesterfield also trying to get themselves back into contention for those playoffs, but look a little bit lost at the moment. The bookies go with Salford, but only just. It could be a draw. Let's go with a 1-1er on that one as well. So those are the games taking place midweek. They're the catch-up games, but we're now focusing on next weekend's drama. So let's get into it with a trip to Bromley on a Thursday night up against Walsall. That's right, Andy Woodman's boys. 10th for the table, 51 points for the season. Can they be written off for the playoffs? Not just yet. They've won 4 of the last 6, but they're coming into this on the back of a defeat. Walsall, though, picking up, of course, with Matt Sadler, winless in the last 4, but they're still top of the table. 68 points for the campaign. They played each other earlier in the season. At the best, got back in November. It was a 2-2 draw. As of right now, on Saturday, Walsall on the back of that 3-1 loss to Grimsby. Bromley on the back of that 2-1 loss to Tranmere. Of course, bookies, they'll go with Walsall, but not for me, though. I'm backing Bromley to cause another upset. Of course, all the eyes will be on this one on a Thursday night. 2-1 win, Bromley at their own backyard. Let's go to Crewe, Doncaster at Gresty Road. It's Crewe under Lee Bell are in 7th right now, 56 points for the season, just 1 defeat in the last 5. Up against Doncaster under Grant McCann, 58% form, back-to-back games now without a win. They sit 3rd in the automatics at the moment. They play Crewe 28 times since 2002. We have 12 wins Crewe, 11 wins for Doncaster. There's been 5 draws between the two sides. Last time they played each other at this venue, it was a 2-0 win for Doncaster. That was back in May 2024 in the semi-finals of the League 2 playoffs. Meanwhile, the reverse fixture this season at the Keepmoat was a 1-1 draw back in October. Doncaster on the back of that 2-2 draw on the weekend. Crewe also drawing with Salford last night. The bookies for this one, they'll go with Doncaster. They are massively fancies. Again, not going with the bookies on this one. I'm going to back my heart. My heart says a Crewe Alexander. 2-0 winners in the end. Let's go to Swindon Town. They're taking on Cheltenham, of course, on Saturday. Ian Holloway's boys are 13th for the table, unbeaten in the last 4, just one defeat in the last 6. Up against Cheltenham under Michael Flynn, winless in the last 4 matches. They sit 14th. Both sides coming into on the 46 points. They played each other 17 times since 2003. 3 wins Swindon, 9 wins Cheltenham. There's been 5 draws between the two sides. Last time around at this very venue in the league, it was a 0-0 draw way back in December 2018. They did play each other this season at Cheltenham. It was a 3-2 win for Swindon way back in October. Cheltenham on the back of that 1-0 loss to Colchester. That makes it back-to-back games without a goal. Swindon back-to-back Desmond Tutus on this one as they make it draws against Salford and most recently Doncaster this past weekend. The odds for this one then, shall we? Swindon are favoured for the victory on this one. Go in there as well with a 1-0 win. Holloway's boys not out of it just yet. Keep going. Accrington Stanley against Gillingham. Coming at you at Stanley. Big week for them this week. Of course, taking on Gillingham. John Coleman's boys find themselves 19th for the table. 41 points for the season. Up against Accrington under John Doolan. Of course, Coleman formerly managed Stanley. Of course, know them very, very well. They sit 21st right now, do Accrington with 36 points. They pick up 2 wins of the past 4 games up against Gillingham, who are also picked up 2 wins out of the last 4 games. They played 19 times in 2008. 5 wins Stanley, 10 wins Gillingham. There's been 4 draws between the two sides. Last time around over at Accrington, it was a 2-1 win for Gillingham way back in January 2024. The reverse fixture at Gillingham was a 2-1 win for Accrington Stanley. Goodness gracious me. Stanley have only won once of the last 6 against them, and that was the most recent match earlier in the campaign. The Gills on the back of that 1-0 win over Bradford. Big win for them. Stanley, though, on the back of that 2-0 loss to Barrow. Wow, wow, wee wow. The odds for this one, they're back Stanley on this one. Gillingham's boys been shit of late on the road. Going to go with a 1-1 draw. Coleman getting a little bit of kudos against his old club this weekend. Meanwhile, Bradford against Tranmere. Coming at Vale Parade, Graham Alexander's boys are second, 66 points for the campaign. They can go top with a win and everything else going their way. Up against Tranmere, currently under the stewardship of Andrew Crosby. Could have a new coach in by the time this match takes place. They have played Bradford 25 times since 1996. We have 12 wins for Bradford. We have 8 wins for Tranmere. There's been 5 draws between the two sides. Last time around at Vale Parade, it was a 2-0 win for Bradford back in March 2024. They followed that up with a 2-0 win this season at Prenton Park. 2-0 winners as well. So back-to-back 2-0 wins, back-to-back clean sheets for Bradford against Tranmere. And they're coming into this, though, Tranmere on the back of a win. They're actually unbeaten in the last 3, picking up a win and a couple of draws as well. Bradford, though, losing to Gillingham most recently. This one, of course, bookies will back Bradford City to bounce back. Go in there as well. 2-1 win. Tranmere with a new manager bounce could be in full of effect by that point. Yeah, I'm going to back Bradford to keep the mixer going. And with that result, they could go top of the pops. We'll see at the end of it. Meanwhile, Carlisle against Wimbledon coming over at Carlisle. Mark Hughes' boys, 24 for the table, 27 points for the campaign. Just 1 win, though, in the last 6. Against Wimbledon under Johnny Jackson, also back to winning ways. 50% form for them right now. 1-2 lost to and drawn to over the last 6. They are 4th with 60 points and have played Carlisle 7 times since 2014. There's been 2 wins apiece and there's been 3 draws, of course. Last time around over at Carlisle, it was a 2-1 win for the hosts back in September 2022. The reverse fixture this campaign was a 4-0 win for Wimbledon over at Plough Lane. Wimbledon on the back of that 2-0 win over Notts County. Carlisle losing away to Harrogate. The bookies odds for this one then. Carlisle underdogs. Wimbledon fancied on this one. Going to go with a 1-0 win. Carlisle at home. They need results and fast, or they're playing in non-league next season. Meanwhile, Colchester against Fleetwood. Colchester cooking with gas right now under the Cowleys, up against Fleetwood under Pete Wild. They played 5 times in 2014. 2 wins for Colchester, 1 for Fleetwood. There's been 2 draws between the two sides. Colchester currently find themselves 9th, 52 points for the campaign. They won 3 on the spin and they haven't lost in the last 10 matches. Up against Fleetwood under Pete Wild, unbeaten in the last 4, just 1 defeat in the last 6. They sit 12th with 49 points. Last played over at Colchester, it was a 1-1 draw way back in January 2016. The reverse fixture, a 0-0 draw at Highbury back in November. Fleetwood on the back of that draw against Port Vale. Colchester with that 1-0 win over Cheltenham. They get back. They've got 3 clean sheets on the spin. 3 1-0 winners in a row. The odds for this one then, shall we? Colchester fancied, of course, Fleetwood underdogs going with the Cowleys to make it another 2-1 win in their own backyard. Morecambe against Barrow. A bit of a Northwest crunch clash this one. Coming at you over at Morecambe. If I can find it. Where is it? Can't see it. I'm blind. Well, there you are. Of course, Morecambe currently under Derek Adams at the moment. Of course, one win the last 5. They're 23rd with 29 points for the season. Up against Barrow and Andrew Wing. Back-to-back wins for them, sitting in 16th with 43 points. They played Morecambe 7 times in 2019. 5 wins Morecambe, 2 wins Barrow. There's been no draws. Last time around at this venue was a 2-1 win for Morecambe, who have also picked up a 1-0 win this season over at Barrow. Morecambe on the back of that 2-1 loss to MK Dons. Barrow picking up a 2-0 win over Stanley to make it back-to-back wins, beating Notts County and then Accrington in a big old couple of 6-pointers right there. Meanwhile, the odds for this one, what do we have on this one? Looks like Barrow slightly edge it, but it could be a draw, guys. I'm going with a 1-1er on this one. Let me know your thoughts down below. Grimsby Town, they are right in the thick of things up against Salford, that's right, who also need to get back into winning ways. They're coming into Salford on the back of 5 games without a win. Up against Grimsby, who are unbeaten in at least the last 6. They sit 8th right now, 56 points compared to Salford's 50. They played 9 times. 2019, 4 wins Grimsby, 3 wins Salford. There's been 2 draws. Last time around over at Grimsby, it was a 2-0 win for Grimsby there back in August 2023. Meanwhile, the reverse fixture, also a 2-1 win for Grimsby. Grimsby winning 3 on the spin against Salford, and also on the back of that 3-1 win over the tabletoppers Walsall. Salford could only manage a draw against Crewe. Back-to-back draws for them. They are winless since 15th of, winless since 8th of Feb. They had a good bit of form earlier in the year, but it's all gone sour right now for Salford. The bookies' odds for this one, they'll probably go with Grimsby because they look good, don't they, at the moment? Just edge it. Could go either way, but I'm going to back Grimsby with a 2-0 win at the moment. Salford looking like shit. Newport County, they're taking on Harrogate over in Wales, that's right. Nelson Jardam's boys, 17th in the table, 43 points for the season, just 1 win in the last 5. Harrogate under Simon Weaver, 3 wins, 3 matches with 3 games unbeaten. There we go, just 1 defeat in the last 5. They sit 20th with 40 points. They played Newport County 9 times since 2020. There's been 4 wins apiece, and there's been 1 draw, that's right. Last time around at Harrogate, we don't want to know about that. Last time in Wales, it was a 2-1 win for Harrogate. The reverse fixture in Harrogate was a 1-0 win as well. So Harrogate got a recent bit of form. They're coming into on back-to-back clean sheets and unbeaten in the last 3. Newport, though, on the back of that 2-1 loss to Chesterfield. The odds right here, right now, Harrogate are slightly favoured here, but it could go either way. It could be easily be a draw. I'm going to give it to the Welshies here. Shock horror, 1-0 winners for Newport County. Notts County taking on Chesterfield. Let's get into this one. Of course, this is a bit of a spicy one coming at you at Newport. Stuart Maynard's boys winless in the last 3, just 1 win in the last 6. They sit 5th right now with 33% form. Chesterfield, though, on the back of 2 wins in the last 6, they're on 33% form as well. But they're all the way down to 15th right now. Their season's kind of gone off the edge of a cliff. They played 28 times in 2003, 12 wins Notts County, 9 wins Chesterfield. There's been 7 draws between the two sides, including the last time they played at this very venue. It was a 2-2 draw back in August 2022. The reverse fixture, also a 2-2 draw. Goodness gracious me. Chesterfield on the back of a 2-1 win over Newport County. Notts County losing to Wimbledon. Goodness gracious me. They haven't won since the 22nd of Feb. The odds for this one then, what are we looking at? It is quite tight, but the Notts County do edge it. I'm going with an away win here. Chesterfield bouncing back, causing an upset. 2-1 winners, denting Notts County's dreams. And then finally, we go to Vale Park. It's Port Vale. It's MK Dons. It's coming at you on the 15th of March. Darren Moore's boys unbeaten in the last 6. However, they're on 3 on the spin. They sit 6 right now. 58% form up against MK Dons and Ben Gladwin's in the helm. Just 1 win in the last 6. Of course, they sit 18th right now, 42 points. They played 17 times, these 2 clubs, since 2004. 7 wins Port Vale, 5 wins MK, 5 draws. Last time around over at Port Vale, it was a 1-0 win way back in March 2023. That was in League 1. The reverse fixture, a 1-0 win also for Port Vale this season. Back-to-back wins, back-to-back clean sheets for Darren Moore's boys. They're unbeaten, though, in the last 4. In fact, last 6. But they're drawn 3 on the spin. MK Dons picking up a 2-1 win over Morecambe. The bookies on this one, they'll give it to Port Vale. They're fancied on this one. Milton Keynes not so much. I'm going with a 2-0 win for Port Vale on this one. Now, let's have a look at the table. Now, this is the table, what it would look like with these results. Not the earlier ones we talked about briefly, but this is what the table will look like. Something like this, guys. Of course, you've got to bear in mind those other games that take place midweek. So that is that. Subscribe, smash the like, catch you later, guys and girls. We are looking forward to this game. So, of course, this week over in League 2 could shape the place of the League 2 table. So see you on the flip side. Until then, subscribe, smash the like, catch you later. We are done for now.